What's happening, everybody? This your boy C Wells, aka your tour guide around the SWAC, coming at you with another edition of SWACtalk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. Today was gonna just do my Celebration Bowl preview and be about, but obviously this afternoon about 12:05, man, history was made in college football, HBCU football, whatever you want to say. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But before we get started with all that, as usual, man, go ahead and check out the socials, like them, share them, whatever the case is, and subscribe to the YouTube page since you're here, and hit that notification bell to be alerted to any content that I upload. And like and share the videos, and feel free to comment on anything that you want to talk about. So, with all that being said, man, like I said this afternoon, history was made, and I'm gonna go ahead and slap this up here. You already know what it is. It don't even need to be really said, but 5-star cornerback slash wide receiver slash half man, half amazing, Travis Hunter signed with Jackson State over the nose. Dude was committed to Florida State for 2 years, man. Told Nick Saban, nah. Told Dabo, bro, I don't want to talk to you. Told Ohio State, I ain't trying to hear it. Told Georgia, which is his home state, told Georgia, bro, I'm not in it. Don't talk to me. I'm all in. And then JSU swooped in, man. Coach Prime swooped in, snatched him up, got him to Jackson. Number one recruit in the nation, man. The dude is the truth. I'm gonna link his huddle video in the description. If you haven't seen him play, man, I really think you should watch him. He's electric as hell, man. I think personally, he could have been a number one guy in the nation at either position. I think he's a great wide receiver. He's definitely a playmaker. And he's a lockdown corner too. So whatever you want, wherever you want to put him, both sides of the ball, that's it, man. 6'1", 165 from Collins Hill, from Swanee, Georgia, Collins Hill High School. Just won state championship the other day. He's a five-star prospect, number one in the nation on 24/7 with 100 rating. That don't happen that often. Man, like I say, this is sick, man. I'm gonna put this out there because I'm fanboying my ass off, bro. If anybody, when the time comes, if anybody comes up on a JSU Travis Hunter t-shirt, when the time comes up, holler at your boy. Man, I have never worn any JSU apparel in my life. Never thought I'd ever say that. But, man, Travis Hunter is the real deal, and dude can be a star anywhere. And Coach Prime going to definitely get the best out of him. So, huge move, man, by Jackson State. And like I said, I wasn't really going to talk about anything on signing day because it's not really a lot going on in the HBCU world, but this had to be said. This is something, man, that can possibly change the landscape of college football. Now, there's some talk of NIL deals and all of that. That can be a factor. But if kids see a guy like this go to a HBCU, it can. I'm not saying it's going to turn the tide. I'm not going to say everybody going to come running to black colleges, but a few guys might take another look. Now, it's up to everybody else to step up, bro, because Jackson State is loading up. They are really, really about it right now, man. So if anybody else out there, man, your coach need to really be hustling and getting in the mix because this team is building, man, and they're gonna have a stranglehold on this league if nobody's careful. So if you want to be competitive and not just fighting for second place, you need to really be out there, man, getting out there and trying to make some things happen with your surrounding community and businesses and all that stuff, man. Get your weight up, get your dollars up, and see what happens from there. So this, like I said, man, this is huge news. This is historic. You cannot not talk about it. The FSU people are sick, man. And there's a bit of transparency. I'm a Knowles fan. I belong to a couple of message boards. These people, man, sick ain't even a word for it, man. A lot of people has said some really foul things about this kid, man, wishing injury on him, wishing, he go broke, he go to jail, and that thing, that right there, man, is what I want a lot of people to take a look at, what a lot of these kids have to go through. So shouts out to him, shouts out to Coach Prime, man, for working his butt off, making things happen, and really being about what he's talking about. So shout out to JSU, man. Y'all got y'all a superstar, man. You put him and Wideman on the field, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen. You put him on the defense secondary, it's lockdown city, man. So salute to JSU, man. Travis Hunter, bro, big time move. Just check it out, man. Man, like I say, I'm speechless. This is one of the things that you just never ever really believe that would happen, and we in a different time. So let's start to really change the narrative in the landscape of college football one step at a time, man. A revolution will be televised. People, that's another thing. People are like, oh, he's never gonna play on football. He's gonna play in front of 300 fans. I'm not even gonna touch the attendance thing, but Jackson State sells out the Celebration Bowl this year. 2 games over 60,000 plus people. There was some FSU games that didn't draw that, so don't even come for that. But I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. I'm not going to really get into too much other signing day stuff because honestly, with a lot of teams, their information is few and far in between, and I'm not about to spend my day, digging through Twitter and stuff just to come out here and throw some stuff up. But if anything else pops off, then I'll throw it on my socials. But I just wanted to go ahead and share that, man, because that's a historic move, and that's something that I was really excited, man. I was when I got the news, man, I was in my car screaming in excitement because this is a big move, man. I don't care who you root for in the SWAC. This is a big move. When one eat, everybody can eat if we all take care of our business. Now, if you let one person go around the buffet and get all the food and you sitting there waiting, then that's on you. So you need to hop in that line and get your grub on too, because it's being laid out there for you, but you have to get out there and do it, man. You can get out there and work. So like I said, that's that, man. Like I said, I mean, you can tell, man, I'm excited like crazy. Like that's my team. But I had, announcement I want to throw out. If I'm working on for next week, top 10 SWAC football games of the 2021 season. So if you got any suggestions, man, hit me up in the comments. I drop a line in my DM on my Instagram and let me know, any games that you think should be on that list. And we go from there. So I'm gonna have a show. I'm gonna break it up between next Wednesday and next Sunday. And I'll drop that, give you guys a little holiday content just to tide you over. So, man, let's go ahead and talk about the Celebration Bowl. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this game. Obviously, this game on paper, and to most people, it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a game. South Carolina State is they're kind of, not really a great team, but Buddy Pugh is a great coach. And they're gonna fight, and they're gonna be aggressive. They're gonna play strong defense, and they're gonna try to run the ball because that's kind of what they're known for. But this team, playing in the MEAC, they won the MEAC, and they did not really have the best opponents in the MEAC. The SWAC opponents that they faced this year, they lost to everybody but Bethune-Cookman. Florida A&M beat them pretty soundly. Alabama A&M beat them by a point in the opening game, and then they beat Bethune-Cookman where they had I think it was a 42-7 lead, and they held on to win. So this team is a team that on paper is not going to be the most challenging team, but they've been off for a while, but this is a situation where you kind of have to take advantage of the opportunities. If you're South Carolina State, you gotta put yourself in position to win these kind of games. This is a situation where neither team has been in this game, so that's a fresh start for both teams. But there's no pressure really on South Carolina State in this game. They're a total underdog. I think the line is 11.5 points. So that's a pretty sound beating for Jackson State if you look at it on paper. So I'm not even gonna really waste a lot of time with talking about this game, man. Like I said, it's when you think about the Celebration Bowl, this is the kind of matchup that you're gonna end up with at this point in time because the conferences are unbalanced. Jackson State is 11-1 this year, and they, other than the loss to ULM, they pretty much mowed through everybody that they played. They have had their ups and downs, and offensively they have not been the most spectacular, but they are a team that can really pull it together. And the defense obviously is one of the best in FCS football. You're not gonna really do a lot against them, and you're gonna have to play defense for 4 quarters because they are gonna find a way to make plays to win games. So they are a team that kind of plays a sluggish first half, but then a strong second half as that defense starts to weigh you down. Looking at their schedule this season, they opened up their season defeating Florida A&M 7-6. They beat Tennessee State 38-16. They lost to ULM 12-7. They beat Delta State 24-17. They beat Alabama A&M 61-15. They beat Alabama State 28-7. They beat Bethune-Cookman 42-12. They beat Valley 28-19. They beat Texas Southern 41-21. They beat Southern 21-17. They beat Alcorn 24-10. And they beat Prairie View 27-10 in the SWAC championship game, which puts them in this game Saturday against South Carolina State. This team has not allowed more than 20 points but once, and that was against Texas Southern. They allowed 21 points. Other than that, the high score is 17 that they've allowed. So they don't give up points. You're gonna really have to work to move the football on this team. They are gonna lock you up on. And they have now they do have some holes in the secondary. When compared to some of their great talent, some of the other guys aren't as great. But this defense is tough to move the ball on. You're not really gonna have a lot of success running the ball. You try to line up and run right at them. That's just not what's gonna that's not gonna work out for you. They're gonna get a lot of pressure on your quarterback, and they're gonna make it hard for you to move the football. And they're driven by their passing game on offense. On Shedeur Sanders, the Jerry Rice Award winner for Freshman of the Year. National Freshman of the Year, SWAC Freshman of the Year as well, second team all conference. This, I was one of the first people to say, man, this kid is gonna, I didn't think he was gonna do bad this year, but I figured he was gonna, have some real adjustments and have some serious struggles, and he hasn't really done that. I mean, he's had some ups and downs. He's had a couple, turnovers in games, but nothing's ever hurt them because this team they have a way of negating those kind of issues because of their defense. They can afford to turn up. I'm not saying they can turn the ball over and be fine, but they can, I guess you can say, turn the ball over and be fine. They have a larger margin of error than most teams because their defense is typically going to get you the ball back. So if you turn it over, as long as you don't turn it over like at the 10-yard line, you're probably going to end up getting the ball back if you're Jackson State. So you really need to get a big lead against this team, like, 3 touchdowns, which, obviously not really going to happen for a lot of teams, but you really have to find a way to keep this team under control and take advantage of any opportunities that you get. Because if they do make a mistake, then you need to really be ready to capitalize on that. You can't lay back and go 3 and out, 2 first downs and punt. You really have to be efficient in your drives, and you have to take care of the football when you have it. You have to value every possession. and know that you're going to be in a battle if you come up on this team. So Jackson State, we've talked about them all season, so it's not really a lot to really need to throw out there about them. South Carolina State is a team that a lot of people don't really know a lot about. They are 6-5 on the season right now, so not a great record, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people are looking at when you look at a game like this. They're 6-5 on the season, but they're undefeated in conference at 5-0. So the MEAC obviously is not what it usually is, but they were able to run the table in the conference. They opened up their season defeating losing to Alabama A&M 42-41. They lost to New Mexico State. They lost to Clemson 49-3. New Mexico State beat them 43-35. They beat Bethune-Cookman 42-35. They lost to Florida A&M 30-7. They beat Morgan State 37-14. They beat Delaware State 13-7. They beat North Carolina Central 27-24. They beat Howard 15-12. They lost to North Carolina A&T 27-17. And they beat Norfolk State 31-21. So if you look at their play in conference, they have not really allowed a lot of points as well. 24 is the highest that they've allowed in conference play. They've been able to kind of hold teams down and make some things happen. So they're a pretty good team. I think they're better than their record. I would probably say that. I think that they're gonna be tough. You're not gonna be able to just overlook these guys and come in and get in and get out. Obviously you're playing. There's a difference in talent, but they have some guys as well on their defense that can cause some issues. Jacoby Durant is a guy in the secondary who really can cause some problems for you if you're not careful. He did have 2 interceptions against Clemson, so this is he can make plays. They have some receivers. Shaq Davis and Will Vereen are 2 guys that can make some plays. Quarterback play is definitely going to be where they need to be better. They need to do. They're going to try to run the football, but they need to really find a way to move the ball through the air from time to time to keep Jackson State from just overwhelming them. They're gonna have to play smart, and they're gonna have to manage their emotions. Playing in a game like this for the first time ever is a thing that's a real high energy type of situation. Playing against a team like Jackson State, a sellout crowd, that's a lot of emotion that this team is gonna have to battle through and be ready for on an early possession basis. So they need to try to take advantage of any opportunities they get early, and if they can put some drives together and score, then they need to do that. But they really just need to stay the course. Don't if something's working, don't go away from it too fast. Understand that you probably will have some negative plays. Just don't get yourself too far behind the chains. Stay as best as you can. Stay out of 3rd and longs because they're gonna eat you alive on those. But this is one of those games where it could be boring because if you look, like I said, if you look at the matchup on paper, it can be boring. But if you look at the matchup, in actual reality on the field, we just never know what's going to happen. That football takes crazy bounces. Anything can happen. So I like Jackson State in this game a lot, obviously, but South Carolina State, they're for some people they're a wild card, and just looking at some of their numbers on the season, they're averaging 141 yards per game rushing. They're averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Defensively, they're allowing 132 yards rushing, which Jackson State doesn't really run the ball much. Although they did have a great running game against Prairie View because Prairie View basically took the passing game away from them, and they were able to run enough to get them a W in that game. The opponents are running for an average of 3.8 yards per carry. The Bulldogs are passing for 210 yards per game. They have 14 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. That's a number that's going to be an issue for them in this game. They have to limit their turnovers. They're averaging 24 points per game on offense. They have fumbled the ball not many times this season. So they have taken care of the football in that aspect. Interceptions are their biggest turnover issue. The defense has 24 sacks on the season as a defense. They've only allowed 17. So the offensive line is pretty solid. They're going to be tested big time by the Jackson State defense. 30% third downs for South Carolina State. That's an issue. That's a serious issue. Being able to convert third downs, you must be able to convert third downs. Jackson State is allowing, I think, like 27% on third downs as a defense, and the opponents are 38% for South Carolina State. So they have to win third downs as much as possible, and keep themselves in, like I say, in positive situations. This defense has 11 interceptions on the season and has allowed 19 touchdowns. So I think that's gonna be, if you want to look at one battle that is gonna be interesting, that the receivers from South Carolina State, Vereen and Davis, those two guys are really capable guys. They're very explosive. Shaq Davis is averaging 20 yards per catch, and he has 5 touchdowns, 769 yards. Vereen, 567 yardage, 12.8 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns. And then there's Richard Bailey, who has 33 receptions for 361 yards, an average of 10 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns. Kendrell Flowers is the running back. He's the guy who's gonna get the bulk of the carries. He has 130 carries for 659 yards and 9 touchdowns on the season, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. Quarterback is Corey Fields Jr. He is 169 of 333. He has 14 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. He's only completing 50% of his passes. So that's where the issue comes in, being able to complete passes, keep drives going, and stand away from those interceptions, because that's good. If you turn the ball over against this team from Jackson State, or you don't move the football, you're going to put yourself in a situation that you're going to get smothered. Defensively, Chad Gilchrist is the leading tackler. He has 70 tackles. B.J. Davis, 67. Patrick Godbolt has 46. Jalen Barr has 40. Jablonski Green has 38. Tackles for loss, their leader is Green with 19 and a half. So that's a guy you're going to definitely have to keep an eye on, making plays in your backfield. Godbolt, 11. Davis, 8.5. Gilchrist, 7. The leading sack man on the season is Green. He has 3.5 sacks, along with Octavian Mentor. He has 3.5 sacks as well. And Godbolt and Brown each have 3 sacks each. So they have, they don't have like one guy who's racking up all their sacks. So they have a bunch of guys who are capable. And the same thing goes for Jackson State. I mean, obviously, James Houston is the guy that it leads the team in sacks and tackles for loss. But then you have Aubrey Miller, who's the leading tackler, Keontae Hampton, a guy who is a 2-time SWAC Defensive Player of the Year. Serious, linebacker prospect, man. He's, obviously, he's a guy that's going to make a lot of plays. The defensive line, Owens is making plays for them. They have a ton of guys that's going to keep South Carolina State busy. Just looking at a couple other things for this team, they have on defense, they have 2 guys with 3 interceptions apiece, Jacoby Durant and Saphir Kelly. Those are the 2 guys in the secondary. That's the heavy hitters. So both of those guys are capable of making plays and causing you a lot of problems if you're not careful. They're averaging 39 yards per punt. Field goals, they are 10 of 11 on the season. They've had 2 kickers. Gavin Zimmerman is 7 of 7 on the season. He has a long of 38. Dyson Roberts has a long of 27. He's 3 of 3 from 20 to 29 yards. They have not attempted a field goal longer than 39 yards. So I don't think either they don't trust their kickers or they don't have the leg to kick long field goals. So if they get in that in between zone, they're either gonna probably have to go for it or punt it and try to pin Jackson State deep. So that's something that needs to be kept an eye on, out on. But I'm not a fan of kicking a lot of field goals against Jackson State because that gets you nowhere. Kicking a lot of field goals means you're putting a lot more pressure on your defense, and that's something that you don't need to do. Return game, they Jawan Moody is the leading returner on kickoff returns, along with he has 13.8 yards per return. He's the only guy with multiple returns that has a solid average. But they don't really have an explosive guy on either side on returns. But you know that you just never know. But Jackson State's been great at covering kicks. Warren Newman is a great punt returner for Jackson State. Isaiah Bolden is a big time kickoff return man for Jackson State. He has 2 kickoff returns on the season, one in the SWAC championship game. So you have to be careful when you kick them the ball. You have to be careful when you passing the ball. You have to be careful when you're dropping back the pass. If you're South Carolina State, you need to limit all of your negative plays. I mean, I know that's easier said than done, and that's also a simple statement, but it's the truth. South Carolina State is gonna come in. They're heavy underdogs, so they have to just play, balls to the wall and play loose. Jackson State just needs to stay the course. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just stay the course. You play Jackson State football, you will win this game. The only way I see South Carolina State winning this game is if Jackson State honestly implodes. If they have to play a great game and play a solid defensive game and take advantage of any opportunities that they get. But with all that being said, I'm obviously going Jackson State. Like I keep saying, I'm going to pick JSU until they give me a reason not to. And being led by Eddie Robinson Award winner, Coach Deion Sanders, National Coach of the Year, SWAC Coach of the Year. Jackson State wins this game. I'm going to say it's going to be a pretty typical Jackson State game this season. So I'm going to say 28-14. I think they'll probably have that typical slow start. But defensively, they're going to eat, and South Carolina State is going to really have some problems. I think a turnover will put South Carolina State in a short field position, and that's where one of their scores will come from. But I think Jackson State wins this game 28-14. So make sure y'all watch this game Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, ABC broadcast. You get the numbers up, man. Like I said, the stadium's going to be full. So everybody who can't go, man, y'all, let's tune in and get these ratings up and let everybody know, man, that the HBCU world is coming for you. We doing it, and it's small and it's growing, but we here. So with that being said, I'm your tour guide, C. Wells, man. I'm signing out. Y'all enjoy y'all Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow for SWAC Smoke live, 6 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Sunday, Celebration Bowl recap. Wednesday and Sunday, I'll be doing my top 10 games of the 2021 season. Again, if you got any suggestions, drop them in the comments or hit me on my Instagram in the DMs. Let me know. Your game could possibly end up on my list. So with that being said, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy y'all day, and I'm out.